The average American shower uses 17.2 gallons of water and lasts 8.2 minutes. There must be some really short showers out there, because I'm pretty sure our average length is about twice that. Today we're going to talk about real ways to save money on your water bill, and how many gallons and dollars that actually means. We're measuring and calculating specific numbers here, not just repeating conventional wisdom.
We're Stephanie and Mike from SixFiguresUnder.com, where we help families get out of debt, meet their financial goals, and save water.
This is day 20 of your Frugal Fresh Start Challenge. If you want to join in or see the whole series, there's a playlist in the video description below.
In many countries, clean drinking water is abundant and cheap, but it's not free. Depending on where you live, your water bill may be $30 a month or $230 a month. If your bill is higher, changing your water usage will make a bigger difference in your budget, but it will make some difference no matter what size your bill is. Today we'll examine the conventional wisdom about saving water and discover what really matters.
To give us a baseline to work with, we start with some averages in California. The average single-family household uses 360 gallons of water per day. That includes homes with a wide range of efficient and non-efficient appliances and water use habits, so you might be higher or lower. Check your water bill to see by how much. At our house, we sometimes come in below that, but with the 8 in our family and an occupied apartment above the garage, it's more commonly higher than 360.
We'll use a water cost of 4.1 cents per cubic foot of water. That means just over half a cent per gallon. This number might be significantly different for you. At our home, we pay about half that after a $33 a month base charge for the privilege of having a water meter. In some areas of Southern California, the cost is double that.
You might also have a lower base fee and a higher unit cost, or if you're lucky, have both a lower base fee and a lower cost per gallon. If you don't mind participating in a little informal survey, would you add your water cost in the comments below?
So let's get down to what makes a big difference and what makes little difference. One of the first things most people come up with to save water is to turn off the tap while brushing your teeth. If your faucet is turned halfway up during teeth brushing, it's pushing out about 1.5 gallons each minute. Brushing your teeth for 2 minutes plus about 15 seconds of rinsing and washing the sink uses just over 3 gallons of water. If you just wet your toothbrush and do the rinsing and washing up, but leave the water off while you're brushing your teeth, it uses about 5 cups of water instead.
Multiply this difference by the number of people in your house. If you have 2 adults brushing twice a day for 2 minutes each, leaving the water on while brushing could use an extra 12 gallons of water every day. At our house we have 7 with teeth, though the smaller mouths have fewer teeth and brush faster. We would use about 30 gallons of water a day if we just let the water run while brushing our teeth.
At half a cent per gallon, that's about $60 per year and over 10,000 gallons of water going down the drain untouched and unused. Those are good reasons to turn off the water while you're brushing your teeth.
The same type of calculation could be done for leaving the kitchen tap running while rummaging through the fridge or wiping up a spill. At full flow, a standard faucet releases about 2.5 gallons per minute. If the faucet is running straight into the drain for 5 minutes a day, that's about 4,000 gallons and $25 a year.
It's not a bad idea to put a faucet aerator or a flow restrictor on every faucet in the house. That reduces maximum flow by about 1/3, which means it takes longer to fill up a glass, but less water gets wasted when you're not actually trying to fill something.
The average household uses about 68 gallons of water from the faucet each day. Some of that is certainly legitimate use, but where could you be running water and money down the drain? Pay special attention to the faucets in your house over the next week. You might find out that you're in great shape.
Or you might find out that there are great opportunities to save. Keep track of what you find in your Frugal Fresh Start workbook.
Now let's move on to toilets. The US EPA estimates that 20 to 30% of water in a house is used by flushing toilets. The California study found 21% on average, but either way, toilets are the single largest water users in most homes. One conventional wisdom idea you may have heard for saving water is to put a brick in the toilet tank. Is that really effective?
Well, that depends on your toilet. Really old toilets use between 4 and 7 gallons per flush. If yours is that old, you're literally flushing money every time you use it. If your home was built in the 80s, your standard toilet probably uses about 3.6 gallons per flush. If it's an older high efficiency model, it might use 1.8 or 1.6 gallons per flush. The newest low-flow models use 1.28 gallons per flush.
If you have the newest model, you won't want to put a brick in that tank even if there were space for it. You'd be leaving yourself with too little water to effectively flush. If you're using 3 gallons or more though, you're in prime water saving territory. Let's look at this tank to understand what's happening. This is the high water line in the tank. This model uses 1.6 gallons per flush, so the high water line is fairly low. On a 3-gallon model, it would be way up near the top of the tank. So the water sits here until somebody pulls the flush lever, then it flows from the tank down into the toilet bowl and out the drain. The reduction in water is equal to the volume of the brick sitting between the water marks. For an 8-inch by 4-inch by 2-inch brick, with half the brick standing above the low water mark, you're saving 32 cubic inches of water, or about 0.14 gallons per flush. That's about 3 gallons a day, or 1,000 gallons a year. $6. It's not a huge savings in dollars, but it is a lot of water. If you don't already have a high-efficiency toilet, adding something to the tank is an easy way to preserve water and a few dollars. But don't actually use a brick. As bricks deteriorate, the fragments can damage the valve fittings. An easy, more effective solution is to get an empty juice or water container, drop a few rocks in it to make it heavier, fill the rest with water, and set that in the tank. It'll take up more space than the brick, saving up to half a gallon of water each flush. That's 3,000 gallons a year and $20. So while the conventional brick idea isn't awful, there are better ways to reduce water usage in toilets. Use a water bottle, or if you really want to save water, update your toilet to a high-efficiency model. A quick price check shows the cheapest models at Home Depot are about $150, so it might take a few years to make your money back with water savings. But if your reason is to save water as much as to save money, it could be worth looking at.
Well, that's more toilet talk than I ever expected to have here. Let's move on to the next biggest water user, the shower. There are 2 ways to use less water in the shower. 1, take shorter showers, and 2, use a low-flow shower head. A low-flow shower head can save up to 40% of the water versus an older model. A shorter shower, well, that's hard, but you can easily see the result. If your normal shower is 10 minutes, including running the water while it warms up, and you can get it down to 8 minutes instead, that's a 20% reduction in shower costs, about 1,500 gallons per year for each person who takes showers.
That's 6,000 gallons and $33 saved for a family of 4. It cuts 2 minutes off each shower for a year. So try adding a shower timer in your bathroom and help people save water and money.
And on top of the water savings, you'll save money heating that water as well. Water heaters are one of the largest single users of power in your home, so reducing hot water use is a double win.
You've noticed that so far we've been talking about pretty small dollar amounts, although they do add up. Here's a bigger amount. A study of over 800 homes in different regions of California found that on average about 18% of the water use was for drips and leaks in the home. A faucet that drips, a toilet that runs, a shower that never quite turns off all the way.
If your house has drips, stopping 90% of them saves over 20,000 gallons a year for the average household. That's enough to fill up an 18 by 36 foot swimming pool, about $115 worth of water. The biggest single water and money saver we'll come across today is to fix your drips and leaks.
It's pretty easy to tell if you have a drip in your sink or your bathtub faucet, but the toilet can be stealthy. While you're checking the gallons per flush on your toilet, add 2 drops of food coloring to the tank, and then check back before the next flush. If the food coloring has made it into the toilet bowl, your toilet is using water even when you're not around. You can get easy to install cheap replacement parts at any hardware store or at a home improvement store.
One surprising result when we looked carefully at water-saving conventional wisdom was that what you do with your dishwasher is unlikely to make a big difference. A standard dishwasher uses about 6 gallons of water per load. A more efficient dishwasher can use slightly less, but not much. So updating your dishwasher is likely to give you less of a return than putting a water bottle in your toilet tank.
Of course, it's still a good idea to only run full dishwasher loads, and make sure you turn off the heated drying cycle. It doesn't use water, but it uses far more electricity than the actual washing does.
We're ready for the last big water user in the house. Standard clothes washers use an average of 41 gallons per load. High efficiency washers use about 28, a third less. That's a lot of water either way. Don't run the clothes washer until you have a full load.
But your total clothes washing water is only about $125 a year. it probably doesn't make sense to get rid of a working washer and spend many hundreds of dollars on a new high-efficiency model just to save $40 on your water bill. Now, if you want to update your clothes washer, go for it, but saving money on water is not a strong rationale for that purchase.
And don't wash clean clothes. With a family of 8, the laundry piles up in the blink of an eye. One of my pet peeves is finding clothes that I know were not even worn in the hamper. Sometimes they're still even folded. I've also been stressing to my kids that their pajamas are not dirty after being worn once, and that their jeans can often be worn more than once too.
There's just one final big water user we haven't talked about at all. This one varies wildly depending on your location and your housing situation. I'm talking about outdoor sprinklers and other irrigation. In some places, rain takes care of the watering. In the arid western United States, we have to help things along if we want them to stay green all summer.
In a survey of California water users, the average household used for outside watering an amount equal to 53% of their indoor water used. That means the water bill is half again as large because of outdoor watering.
Of course, that number varied from about 30% in coastal regions to about 80% in the desert valleys. But it's a huge number either way. If your water bill includes outdoor watering, consider letting the grass go dormant during the summer. That takes either no water or very nearly none. We water the lawn once or twice a year when the kids want to play in the sprinklers during summertime. Other than that, we just let it go natural.
Or if you decide the luscious green lawn is important to you, at least be really careful about watering. First, aerate the lawn so the water can soak down into the roots. And don't water if recent rain has already soaked the ground.
You'll know when it's time because the grass picks up a bluish-gray tinge, or footprints on the lawn don't bounce back after a few minutes. When you do water, do it infrequently and do it in the morning or late at night using a low coarse spray. If you use a misty spray in the hot afternoon, nearly a third of your sprinkler water blows away or evaporates. With average usage, that wasted 1/3 equals 22,000 gallons of water and $125 each year.
Let's finish up with just a few hardcore ways to save water. Shower less frequently. Most people can still have good personal hygiene without a shower or multiple showers every day. In fact, in many cases, it's actually better for your skin not to shower daily. Personally, I would rather take a longer shower less frequently than a short shower every day.
Recycle water. Wash your produce over a bowl or a bucket so you can use the water for your garden. Keep a bucket in the shower to collect the cold water as you're waiting for it to heat up. You can actually use that water to put it in the washing machine or water your plants or your garden. The most hardcore version of this would be to reuse all of the shower water by plugging the tub during the shower and siphoning or pumping the full tub into a holding tank for later use. This water could be used to fill a toilet tank or water plants depending on the soaps and shampoos that you use.
Well, that's intense. Collect rainwater. Rainwater can be collected and used to water your plants or garden. Your roof and gutter system concentrates all the water falling on the house into a few convenient downspouts. A barrel under the downspout is an easy way to save some of the water that runs off for outside watering.
You can get a more complete catchment system and filtration systems and all of that, but the cost starts mounting pretty quickly. So unless you're ready for a serious commitment, use buckets or barrels you already have or can find easily and inexpensively.
The good news is that no matter how terrible or terrific your current water usage habits are, there's always room for improvement. And reducing the amount of water you use is frugal in more than just the money-saving sense. In addition to financial reasons for saving water, using less water leaves more in the aquifers and waterways we get our water from, helping our budget and our earth.
So let's take a look at our average California water user again. We're not going to have him make huge lifestyle changes, but even with just a few simple things, he can make a big difference. First, he'll fix drips and leaks in his house. This is often as simple as a new O-ring in a faucet and a new seal in the toilet tank. This saves $115 and 21,000 gallons during the next year. Then he reduces an older toilet's flow from 3.6 to 3.1 gallons per flush by adding a water bottle to the tank, saving $20 and 3,700 gallons of water. Finally, he cuts showers down from about 10 minutes to about 8 minutes, saving another $28 and 5,000 gallons of water. In total, with 3 small changes, our average household saves $164 just on water, plus whatever it saves on heating costs, and uses 30,000 gallons less during the year. That's enough to get excited about.
That's a lot of water. Okay, your challenge for today is to decide what your family will do to save water. Go write it down in your Frugal Fresh Start workbook. Your current water usage will probably look a little different than the average Californian, so choose what will make a difference for you. Focus on easy wins that make the biggest difference. Even if you don't feel particularly compelled to conserve water, choose something. It might not make a big difference in your finances, but it will increase your frugal mentality, and that frugal way of thinking will extend to other areas in your life.
And that's a wrap for today. We'll see you again tomorrow.